I feel really great. I love to dance. Adrenaline rush, which was fun, and learned a few steps.
Did you notice that the feeling of like leaning on each other a little bit and
Right, that did help in terms of getting a connection. So
yeah,
that helped quite a bit.
awesome. It's all about the connection.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah,
From his first steps,
yeah.
which were maybe a little bit unsteady and hesitant, Floyd was dealing with some health complications that caused him to have challenges with his balance. But he dove right in, right into TangoStride, became a regular there, and then soon gained the confidence to join my other classes as well. Floyd has joined Team TangoStride at big events. He continues to be an active participant and cheering on our other students at the Brain Injury Alliance of Washington's Walk, Run, and Roll at Green Lake that we like to do each spring. He was dancing around Green Lake and really having a ball. Then he joined us in the Fremont Parade, and we just really appreciate Floyd continuing to be a part of the group, whether it's TangoStride or Tango Happy Hour, and just staying active. And his PT has noticed a difference too.
I've been working with Floyd for about 1.5 to 2 years on balance and gait, and I have been lucky enough to have him work with TangoStride as well as be working here. And I think one of the things I noticed most was how he was able to incorporate and practice a lot of the balance exercises that we were working on and incorporate that using the dance with his like functional mobility. And one of the great things that we've kind of seen in terms of progress has been less dependency on his cane when he's out and about. We did a single leg balance test recently, which at the beginning he could maybe do 0 to 2 seconds with, and we got up to about 60 seconds. So it's been really great to just see the progress and kind of the joint work that we've been doing both in physical therapy and with his tango class, helping him build balance and endurance and just general functional mobility for his daily activities. So when Floyd and I were discussing his balance training and dance, you could just tell how much he loves dancing. And one of the ways we talked about having him discuss it with his family is like, oh, it's not just recreational dance. This is therapeutic dance to help you gain that mobility and function.
Hello, my name is Floyd Gossett, as you've seen, and I want to thank everyone for coming today because it's really important in terms of supporting TangoStride for those individuals who were able to make it and others who aren't able to make it. And a lot of it has to do, in many instances, some medical issues, but also transportation issues in terms of getting there. It does take a lot of effort to make that happen. I came across TangoStride in a very interesting path in terms of how I happened to find them. And it was based on a sandwich board that was in Columbia City that my sister said, you're having some issues. This says dance to walk. You like to dance. Maybe you might want to walk through this door. And that's kind of where it all began. But in terms of getting to that particular journey, in terms of TangoStride, as I walked through the door, I met a host of individuals who were there, which the video showed. And then I also learned about other participants in Tukwila and also on Finney Ridge. So the program has a long range throughout the King County, Seattle area. So it incorporates different groups of people in various different parts of the city and the county as well, which I thought was very impressive. But when I went to Gabriella, I was really struggling, and that's when I kind of get to the personal story of dance and joy, because I think when we come to these classes, it's not just about mobility, it's about fellowship and joy. About 2020, I was diagnosed at that point during the pandemic with stage 4 prostate cancer. And so through a host of different things that had to happen, surgery, radiation, hormone suppression shots, my balance began to falter. First time I remember, my son was downstairs and he heard a bam. I'd fallen down in the living room. I'd lost my balance. And then from there, along with that medical scenario, what was going on, I fell in my backyard and couldn't get up and had to kind of crawl to a chair till I can get up by a table and kind of rest myself. And then it started going on from there. We had people coming into the home for physical therapy and saying, need to go out with the cane. So I started doing that quite a bit, so I became quite dependent, but that cane didn't help me when I fell off of a bus. And so things were starting to get a little bit more dire in terms of my joy of walking, in terms of what I was doing. And so one of the things that had happened during that process, which also helped me with TangoStride, was that my wife in 2015, prior to TangoStride coming into being, had fallen and became a quadriplegic and was paralyzed from the chest down. And we loved to dance. We really loved to dance. And so for 3 years, because everybody, like Deborah said, just said, okay, you're in a wheelchair, that's it. I stayed home. We worked for 3 years because she got mobility in her arms, mobility in terms of her shoulders. And then we began to realize one day, I brought a newspaper and I said, if you can flip this newspaper, you can learn how to start to feed yourself. And we started doing that component of it. So we got to that point, but as we began the programs, we were talking about dancing. So after a while, after this 3-year or 4-year journey, Sundays was our day to dance. So we would go Sunday, we'd listen to classical king music for 2 hours, and at 6 o'clock we turned on rock and roll. And my wife and I were in the kitchen, and she learned how to manipulate the wheelchair in terms of her head going up and down, arms are moving up and down. I sit on her lap, we would do a slow dance, and she knew how to turn the chair around slowly. And that was our joy of dancing for quite some time. And then she passed away. So I didn't dance for a long time, at least for 8 years. And then when this all started happening here, when I was starting to fall quite a bit, the joy aspect of dancing was really out of my mind. And then I had a seizure on an airplane, diabetic seizure. The paramedics there started giving me orange juice and shot everything to the roof. And so I had 6 more seizures before I got out the airport. So I was in a hospital for another month, and then vertigo set in, and my balance just went straight down to 2. So once again, I'm back to falling one more time. And I said, I need to do something. So when I saw renewed physical therapy at about the same time, I saw TangoStride. And that's when I walked through the door with the cane, because I never left the house anymore without it. I was totally dependent on it, because I never knew when I was going to spin out of control. And one of the spin, I think the ultimate of that spin out of control was when you're taking hormone suppression shots, you also have hot flashes. And a man with a hot flash who has no idea what's going on, who is fanning, spinning out of control, and falling, is a very interesting experience to have. And so I said, I have to start doing something. And so when I saw the dancing and I talked to Gabriella, I said, this is my problem. I'm really concerned about falling. I can't turn to my left. I can't turn to my right. Everything starts to spin when it starts to take place. So she says, grab my hand. Here we go. So we did baby steps. We knew physical therapy would hear about what I was doing. They would talk to me. I would talk to Gabriella. Gabriella would say what I was doing. I would talk to physical therapy. We knew physical therapy. So this partnership began after a while. So I was getting more confident what I could do. I got to the left. And every time I tried to turn to the right, I would start to spin out of control. So we did this for about a year. And then after that, things slowly started to get better. So one of the things I prayed for during this whole process of my medical history is that I wanted to have the quality of life again. And that showed up on the day I went to Green Lake. So when I went to Green Lake, all the participants, a lot of participants from the different classes came that day with the walkathon. We got to tell our stories, we got to talk about our own journeys, But in that moment, I felt that we were there. The effort that everybody put in to get there, which I knew was my wife, what that was like. And so we just formed a bond immediately as a community. And it was wonderful. We just had a wonderful time. And we walked. We walked for 2 miles, a mile going and a mile coming back. And I remember Sean saying that he wanted to walk and saying, ease on down the road. Okay. And it took us about 2 hours to do that walk. But it was a wonderful day because we worked with everybody's capabilities. We took our time till everybody made it to the end line coming back. But the thing that was the biggest thing to me for that particular day was that as we came back, there was a young lady we had passed. It was with her parents. And she was doing it on her own with her parents' assistant. And we passed her going and we passed her coming back. But our group remained there until she got to the finish line. And so I thought this is a very, very impressive group. I love what this program is doing and the support of everybody, even who are here today, who are supporting this particular organization. Because there are people who we don't see very much sometimes. We don't hear very much, but here they were putting the effort, made the effort to get here for this particular day. And that was when I said, for every time we have a walkathon, I'll be there, no matter what. And then the last part of my journey, as I was praying for quality of life during this course of this last year, it just started getting better as my mobility started getting better. I met a dance partner in March, and we started dancing a lot. And now we weren't doing just 1 hour a week or 2 hours a week or 3 hours a week. I'm up to 6 hours a week now. And that's my dance partner you're seeing right there. So the last portion of that was that, as I was still talking about quality of life again, and Gabriella said, we're going to have this dance event on Pier 55 on the 5th floor down by the Norwegian Cruise Line. And I'm thinking, I'm not going up on the 5th floor with vertigo. I don't know if this is a good idea for me. But I said, okay, I'm gonna press through, and I'm gonna try. Went up there with trepidation. It's like, okay, there's guardrails around the building. I'm okay. I'm gonna stay in the middle. I'm not gonna go too far. And that became, for me, the perfect definition of what quality of life meant to me, because TangoStride has brought me that far. So. So that was my journey in terms of how I became involved with the program. That became my journey in terms of where I will always continue to support this program, because there are many other individuals who don't know about the program, who are learning about the program. They've had some other kind of issues in terms of mobility, because there's a wide spectrum of what mobility can be for different people. And the more that they hear about it, just the aspect of that they can get up and just move. And the joy of being able to move is just so much fun. And I wished that my wife had been here instead of passing away in 2015, that she'd have been here for 2016. So I could at least have helped her to stand up and dance. And thank you.